I also think that I'm way too fucking famous. 100%. And I'm doing what I can slowly but surely to separate myself from this kind of narrative or whatever this world is that I kind of built. And I'm fine-tuning it and tailoring it to what I want.
Promoting this Satanism and et cetera, et cetera. Somebody like myself goes, nah, they're just doing art. She's trying to scare y'all because she knows that you're gonna have some visceral reaction to this imagery.
Or I'm minding my fucking business. So there's, you know, I like the idea of I did it on purpose and it's this big ruse to like make people react.
Right.
But I also like the idea of, you know, what it is that I love this piece of visual art. I like this visual for this sound. So I chose that visual and I applied it to the sound, and people made up what they want, which is what you do with art. You it means, yeah, you.
Hey internet, it's your favorite it girl, Candace. First off, I just want to say I am a Doja Cat fan, so this is definitely going to be biased, and this is definitely a defense video. So if you're not, well, I'm gonna give you an objective point of view also, but if you don't want to watch it because I have bias, then you click off the video. I also want to say thank you guys for watching my last video about Doja Cat. I didn't think that video was gonna go as viral as it did, and I'm really happy for like all the new subscribers and people I've interacted with in the comments, and I hope you like to say it too. So I want to talk about the demonic stuff, and I want to talk about Doja Cat selling her soul. Again, this is coming from someone who, you know, ex fan of Kanye, big fan of Doechii, big fan of Doja Cat, you know, anyone cool or different, Tyler, Rico. I grew up in a hip-hop household. My dad was a DJ and producer, and my sister and my cousins rapped, and you know, my uncle's Uncle Murder. So I was like, I grew up in a very hip-hop centric household, so I know all the old shit. I know that too, so I know the new wave shit, old shit. And so I think I have a good perspective on both, and I think the issue is with Doja Cat is that a lot of people just don't understand that she is from this new era, and this is just kind of how hip-hop artists are going to be now. She's very much like understanding of the internet, and she came out as an internet troll. She wrote a song about cows. So I don't think it's that shocking that when she shaved her head and she started dressing demonic, like to me it wasn't shocking. I was more shocked when she went the pop star route, and I was like, what's going on? Like, this is like a weird funny girl, like she's like a little jokester. Like, why is she trying to be like a serious pop star? Like, I was so confused when she switched to that, like, after Say So. Like, obviously you have to start getting like professional in your career, but like, you know, me knowing her from Moo, I'm like, what's going on here? And then me seeing her shave her head, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, she would do something like that. So I think people just don't understand internet culture and like how that shaped and impacted Doja Cat's career. And I'm gonna get to why she did what she did. Wasn't her being demonic. And again, I know a bit about the music industry. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, she didn't sell her soul. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. There's contracts involved, and you become a brand, and you sell yourself as a brand. You're no longer a person, and you are just made to create content. So selling her soul in that sense, yes, she did, because that's what happens when you become that level of superstar, you know. And also, people get upset at her for being weird and like she's losing her mind. Once you get to that level of fame, you have to be a little weird. You have to be a little crazy, because it's not normal for a person to have this many eyes on them at once and people expecting you to be this thing and do that. So I think you would be a little, you know, you have to be a little weird to be able to even handle that success. Again, like Michael Jackson, one of the biggest stars ever, greatest performer ever. He was a little, you know, it's a little weird. Everybody has to be a little bit weird to be able to handle that. So Doja Cat, there's this video on YouTube and they explain like her whole career really well. It's like called The Transformation of Doja, or like The Dark Transformation or something. It's a really good video. If you don't have an hour or something, I'll summarize it for you right now. Doja Cat, she grew up just like online on chat rooms and like 4chan and Tiny Chat and talking on the internet and Twitter and arguing back and forth with people like most of us do that are my age. I'm 18, so I don't send chat rooms, but you know, that's what you do. And so you start to develop this thick skin because like obviously the internet has its dark side, has its fun side, and you know, people start bullying you and things like that. And that's how she developed this kind of weird, sarcastic, dark internet humor that, you know, outsiders don't seem to understand. Like, how can this superstar have this like weird ass sense of humor? But you know, that's why when she became famous with Say So, like that cemented her as a superstar. That was 2020. It was COVID. Everything was online. There was no real need for Doja to be like, you know, outside in the public and doing things. And so all she did was go on Instagram Live like she already was doing. She used to go on Instagram Live like during high school. Well, she wasn't. She dropped out of high school. When she was that age, just going live, making beats, making music every day. That's how she came up with the skill of being able to make beats and sing and perform in front of people, because she was doing it every single day. Okay. And she was already signed to a label at that time, but they kind of put her on the back burner. But whatever, that's not important. So yeah, COVID, it worked because everything was online. It was digital. She was on Instagram Live. That type of humor worked. You know, we all needed something silly and fun at the time. It was because it was really dark. And then she comes out with a pop song that's like reminding you of like back then, like when everything was good and we could go outside and meet people. So there was this need for human connection. And so I think it worked in that little bubble. And she only had, before Say So, she only had like a couple thousand people in her lives. Now she had like millions of people in her lives. But I think it still worked because everything was just online. And then, you know, we came out of that and she was kind of like, she kind of owned 2020, like the whole COVID 2021. She owned that whole year with her music and TikTok trends. That was, I mean, and then and then TikTok blew up all her songs on TikTok. So it worked. And then now it's like, okay, what's next? Like after now that COVID's over, she's not the only artist people are listening to. What's she gonna do now? So I think her shaving her head again, it's just her personality. And also I think it's people are being a little bit like colorist to Doja, in the sense that like because she's biracial, maybe they hold her up to different standards. Because if you're black, then you know it's like some reason, a rite of passage for like once a black woman hits a certain age, they shave their head and dye it blonde. Like that's a thing that happens in the black community. I don't know why everybody's acting like it's so odd. Like I know older black ladies who've done it. My sister did it. Like mad people do that. Like I don't know why it's a practice. You know, black women, we struggle with our hair for many reasons. Not because we hate our hair, but you know, you want to do this style and you want to do that style, but then the braids are ripping out your edges, and then the glue is too much, and then but now you don't want to wear your afro. So it's like mad different things. So eventually you just shave your head. It's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna do it one day. So, but this is the thing, Doja Cat, I don't think she understood, is that it's not, you know, a couple thousand people in the live anymore. You're not, you know, some underground rapper anymore. It's actually millions of people watching you. And you can't operate the same way she did with the internet humor and things, because at a certain point you have to be serious. And, you know, it worked then because she just was a rising star. But now it's like, okay, you've been doing music for 5 years, you've been in the public light, you won a Grammy, you did a song with SZA. I'm sorry that this truck outside is really, really, really fucking loud. It's really loud. Should I talk over it? Should I talk over it? I don't know. I think it's so fucking loud. I'm just gonna talk over it. You can't operate the same way you did anymore, and people are expecting you, okay, you had a couple years to have fun and do this. Now it's time, let's figure out who the real Doja Cat is. And she kind of just didn't cement herself. You know what I mean? Like, artists eventually find their sound and their voice and their look. Doja Cat didn't do that. She just reinvented herself again with this rock star persona and shaving her head. So now people are like, okay, who the fuck are you? Like, we don't know who you are. So, like, she never said, and you don't have, she doesn't owe us this, but, like, she never said, like, oh, I believe in this, and I do this, and this is the type of music I make. She never totally cemented herself. Because, you know, 5 years ago, she was just, like, 21, like, fucking making beats in her house on live every day and joking with people on the internet. So I don't know if her head maybe was too much to process or something, but now it's like, so when we see you shaving your head and you're doing this imagery, now we're like, okay. And she's also saying this is who she is. I'm minding my business, I'm doing this, you know, I just like this imagery. So that's what we're thinking. We're taking you seriously, obviously, because a lot of people didn't know her from Moo. A lot of people knew her from Say So as the superstar, as the pop star. So they're thinking, okay, well, if that's who you're saying you are, then we're saying you're satanic. So I understand where people are coming from that. But also, her doing a photo shoot with her making a silly face and her head shape is not satanic. Like, you guys, I saw a comment on my other video that made a lot of sense. Like, other rappers, they're literally talking about killing people and, you know, raping and stealing and robbing and doing all these things. And also, like, sexual themes that are not good or healthy to talk about women. And they just get a pass. It's just cool. It's hip-hop. It's cool. And it's accepted in the community. Doja Cat, she doesn't even rap about anything negative. She just shaves her head and tries a different look. And now she's poisoning the youth and she's being demonic and showing all these things. That imagery and that content that I just said wasn't demonic, because that sounds pretty demonic to me. So that's okay. That's good in the Black community. That's good, but not, you know, trying a different look. And then I think the other thing is, like, you know, we're discussing with my dad, like, what it means to be, like, hip-hop. There's a certain swag and look that comes along with it, and, like, attitude and way of thinking and lifestyle and, you know, but it all does come down to, like, you being your authentic self. And when Doja Cat reinvents herself as much as she does, that's where it becomes a conversation. She's not hip-hop, because you keep reinventing yourself. When are you ever going to just be you? And so again, I understand where people are coming from, so they can only judge and project on her because she's never taking a stand on anything. You know, she could be the best rapper of all time if she wanted to. She could be the best pop star if she wanted to. She could be the best R&B artist if she wanted to, but she never stays in any one lane long enough that I can even say that, because I listened to her album and it's an R&B track and then a rap track and then a pop track. So I'm like, I can't say for sure what's going on here. And if that's the type of thing she wants to do, then I don't understand why she spent the whole Scarlet era trying to prove she's a rapper for like a whole year. Why do that if you're trying to change again? That's my frustration with her, but, like, she's not saying she's demonic is just dumb. And the music industry, it is odd because it's like every time someone rises to fame, that ends up seeming to happen. I think Doja Cat's is a rare case, though. I don't think it was anyone telling her to do it. I think she just did it because she's doing the same thing that she's always done, which is troll the internet. But it's just on a different scale now that it doesn't work the same way it did. So it's like she's like, oh, they want to call me a demon? I'm gonna make a video called Demons, and that's gonna be funny. But it's not funny because people are taking seriously now. And I, you know, my thing really is, if you're gonna stand on like, okay, I don't fuck with demon shit, I don't fuck with dark imagery, that's fine. Don't listen to her music, whatever, cool. I'm not telling you to do anything you don't want to. I'm just saying, it's like, I don't know, I guess people just don't know how to word certain things, and they don't know what else to call what she's doing. She's just like, actually, you know what, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna end the video with this. I saw this video talking about how nothing's punk rock anymore. I don't know shit about punk movement, I don't know shit about it, but I like the idea that they presented in the video, and they're like, oh, you know, people say art is supposed to push boundaries until it pushes their boundaries. So I think Doja, you know, it was enough with the cow, it was enough with Say So and like her like funny jokey internet humor and things like that, and then she just crossed a line that the general public couldn't handle. And like she said, she's definitely too famous, but you know, what, there's nothing you can really do about it now. She can't really go back to how she was. So it's like, I think she just pushed a boundary, and it's okay that people are uncomfortable, but it just sucks because we're gonna look back at this and it's gonna be totally normalized that artists, hip-hop artists, can be weird and cool and artistic with their work. And we're gonna be all saying that Doja Cat walked so that they could run, because you don't get a Doechii without a Doja Cat. You don't get a Tyler, the Creator, without a Kanye. There has to be someone to break the mold. And maybe it'll just end up being its own genre, but I don't think hip-hop has to be so strictly one look. Because at the end of the day, you're an artist, and artists can express themselves and do whatever they want, and she can use rap as a platform to express that art, just with a different imagery. But you know, I think Doja Cat's next album is gonna be pop again, so it's like, at this point I don't even know what to expect. This is why she's my favorite artist, because she just does so many genres that I'm just, you know, I don't really have to switch to another artist because, you know, she already has a song like that. But yeah, I don't know if this video made any sense, but that's the video I did, and that was my thoughts. And I'm probably gonna do another video tomorrow, either talking about Sexy Red or talking about the new Billboard, like, not tier list, like, they did like best female rappers of all time. I'll probably be talking about one of those two things because I have interesting things to say. You're gonna be shocked who's #1 on the list. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Okay, so like quick thought, because I just thought about this and it's a smart thing to say. So like, I'm an artist too, and I'm a fashion designer, so I work in aesthetics, I work in visuals, and to me I always resonated with the Scarlet era because I've been judged in the same way for my art, and people not getting it and it making them feel like uncomfortable, because my art, it comes from like my heart and comes from like raw emotion. So when people see it, they have like this visceral reaction to it because they don't like to feel uncomfortable, so they just put it off as them not understanding it. And to me, as like a Black creative, it's frustrating that we must be put in a box. Like, our art can only look like this, and we can only address these topics in art. And if you create art outside of that bubble, that somehow denies your Blackness and your Black experience, when in reality, all my art is Black art because I'm a Black person creating the art. The content of my art doesn't change who I am. It doesn't suddenly erase years of, you know, memories and culture and things like that, all because I want to do something out of what's typically expected from Black artists. And I think Doja Cat is stuck in that boat and truly brought awareness to the fact that Black artists don't have to be the same thing, and that we can rewrite our own story. You don't have to only create what's comfortable. So just because Doja creates visuals that don't align with what hip-hop usually sounds or looks like doesn't take away from the fact she's a black woman using rap as a tool to speak her truth. So yeah, that was just a thought I had.